this is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vandergren in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vandergren in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride,
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono. He's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want alternative turns. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns for 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely being competitive here. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sim Racing World TV, and welcome back into the Warren Brown Tools GTD series here tonight for Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for round number 1 of season 3 of 2024. Technically, round number 1 of season 1 of the GTD series for 2024, as this year it has previously been the IMSA Shadow series with the GTP cars being out there, but unfortunately, from the ashes of that series, the Phoenix rises up as the GTDs return for their sole series here in SRW. It's already been a big Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, with Legends World Challenge earlier tonight. If you missed the action from round number 1, be sure to go check it out after this one. Absolutely incredible stuff. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Bono, joined once again by Stefanie Piccoli. Steph, big action to come here tonight for Spa. It was supposed to happen last week on the eve of the Spa 24-hour. Unfortunately, real-world stuff stopped us from doing that. But these drivers should have plenty of laps under their belt around this track, and they should be ready to go here tonight for a 60-minute affair of Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, you would think a lot of the guys would have competed in the 24-hour last weekend, so definitely plenty of laps around here. So we should be in for a good race tonight, I would think.
Well, I would hope, at least, that we'd be in for a good one. I think we'll be in for one that is a little bit less chaotic than what we had in the Legends World Challenge. That was ballistic. I'm still on a high from how good that turned out. I know that you missed it, unfortunately, but yeah,
I had to be at work.
I cannot talk it up enough. It was incredible, but now we focus on GTD action. Now, you'll see in the top, we have Pro, Pro-Am, and Amateur. Now, we currently have no classifications because we use the first 3 rounds to determine where drivers lie, where their pace lies, where we're going to seed them, pretty much. Then myself and Stefan, the other admin of the GTD series, will get together, we'll decide, hey, who's going to be Pro, who's going to be Pro-Am, who's going to be Amateur. And then we'll have our 3 classes going forward, similarly to the GR86s, previously the Supercars, and also the Super Formula Championship as well. But Spa, a difficult challenge, Steph. I myself have done a 24-hour around here previously, made it from 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. race start to about 4:30 in the morning when my car decided to turn at Blanchimont into the wall, and I decided I was going to go to bed after that. Have you had a crack? Cool. Have you had a crack at the Spa 24 before, and have you made it further than 4:30 in the morning?
This year, the team did have a go. I did a part of the graveyard shift. I chipped in 2 hours from about 3:30 till 5:30, I think it was. I was at the Supercars all weekend last weekend at my local track. Last year, I was awake for majority of it, and definitely did drive in it. I think I only had about 3 or 4 hours sleep in the 24 hours of the run. So, awesome track. When you get Eau Rouge right, it feels amazing. But when you get it wrong, you're eating concrete.
Well, I mean, let's just put the overarching correction out there. Of course, Eau Rouge is the bottom of the hill.
Sorry.
Eau Rouge is the bottom of the hill. Radion is the top of the hill. That's Radion. Actually. But yeah, that's just remind
guys.
I mean, no, I know it's a blanket term, and I'm sure, I am positive that the majority of drivers who call out incidents that happen at Radion tonight are going to call it out as Eau Rouge because they just assume it's Eau Rouge.
It's kind of the start of the corner. It's all connected.
It's and it's like, unless you know it's called Radion, you just assume it's Eau Rouge.
Yeah.
It's only really the people who know what it's called call it that. Everyone else just calls it Eau Rouge,
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, this is a difficult track for us. I mean, 7 kilometers.
Yeah.
is a long track, and it's a long time to be out on a lap at this place. This corner here, Blanchimont. Oh, it is the death of me. It happened to be the year that the Lamborghini was not at the top of the timing sheet for the BOP, and the rear end was very, very slippery. So we came around there, we clipped the curb, and it just went round and said hello into the wall. So, yeah, that was possibly a poor choice in car that weekend, but we learned from those experiences, of course. Turn 1, heavy braking zone. Good passing opportunity if you're willing to send it up the inside, but sometimes it's better just to run that outside line, get the run out the corner, get the run up the straight up towards Eau Rouge and Radillon here up towards the top of the hill, because then you'll be able to maximise your run down the Kemmel Straight into the first chicane of this circuit down the end of this next very, very long, very, very fast straight, which is a great passing opportunity if you can get into the toe in behind the car up towards the next heavy braking zone.
Yeah, and getting passes made along the straight and into the first chicane moves on. If you're up far enough, if you've got the run, you're making moves there.
Yeah, I mean, if you can maximise that pace at a Radillon, tuck right in behind your competitor, you can even get the move done, as unfortunately Mitch Noble succumbs to the pressures of the Ford Mustang. And the rear end says, hello, if you can maximise your run out of this corner at Radillon, tuck in behind someone, you can get the move done well before the braking zone, and then just slot right in ahead of them. And a lot of, the drivers are smart enough, they'll let someone have the move. They'll know they can tuck in behind them and get an opportunity later on in the lap as well. It's not one and done on the Kemmel Straight on lap 1. I think a lot of drivers will have to remember that here tonight, of course. I mean, they'll be racing for 60 minutes, Steph. So there's going to be a whole lot of passing opportunities for them out there on track. As practice comes to an end, we'll get into qualifying very, very shortly. And we'll see who's got the pace in the field at this track and who may struggle in this race for 60 minutes here tonight. It's been a while since we've gone racing for 60 minutes in GT cars. Pretty much since we were last running a GT championship, which was midway through last year, around about this time last year. We then moved to IMSA and we were running 45-minute races pretty much ever since then. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers work it out. We are using the endurance pits tonight, so drive-throughs are going to be a massive issue for some of these drivers if they cop them, because it is a long pit lane. It is a slow pit lane, and if you get a speeding through pits, you do not want to be traversing back through that lane.
No. Hopefully the guys have practiced pit entry to have worked out we're using endurance pits. And don't turn their pit speed limiter off. If they use one halfway down the straight and hit the wall.
I'll tell you right now, I'd be pretty worried if they didn't realise it, coming out of that pit exit and having to traverse up the hill. Instead of coming out at turn 1. I'd be proper worried if they didn't come to. Oh, yeah, we're using the endurance pits, aren't we? I would honestly be worried if that happened. I mean, genuinely, that would be a concern.
I'm gonna put my hand up and say I have done that before.
I'll put my hand up and say during 24-hour practice around here previously, when we've used the endurance pits, I have been requested to be given admin of the private hosted server, and I have just raced through the pits and cleared my blacks on exit. Because I'm not willing to sit there at 50 kilometers an hour for what feels like 5 kilometers of pit lane. I will be honest with you, it is an eternity to traverse through there. A couple of chats we've already got out there. Scotty Barton saying good luck all, let's go ESR. Of course, Everything Simulator Racing, brought to you by Valve Esports. Gordon McCulloch in the chat as well, saying good luck everyone, great weather, lol, much better weather than Wednesday night, Gordon, I'll tell you that. Stephen Banks out there saying as well, good luck everyone, let's go PER. Gordon as well backing it up saying let's go Apex. So the love is already out there for their favourite drivers, their favourite teams. If you are watching us here tonight live, ladies and gentlemen, get into the chat, give your support to the drivers that you are supporting and the teams that you are supporting as well. Let us know who you want us to keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye on them throughout proceedings. We've got 60 minutes to keep an eye on them, Steph. We've also got 20 minutes of qualifying to keep an eye on them as well. So we've got a nice, relaxing sit back after what was, I must admit, an hour of pure chaos between 6:20 and 7:20 p.m. tonight, because that was wild. It was wild, and
we'll have to go back and
watch it is must watch Sim Racing World TV. It was incredible. And you know what?
Sitting in traffic at 20 past 6.
Oh,
That was a bit annoying.
yeah, a bit of bumper to bumper.
Little bit.
You know, we had a bit of bumper to bumper here as well. It was just some cars going into walls, some cars getting spun around on the last lap at the line. It happens. It happens in racing. Benjamin Brook, though, we expect big things out of him, of course, here tonight. Very, very well traversed in GT racing. For Frog Leap Juiced Racing as well, we expect some big things from him. Greg Barber, I mean, he's previous champion of the GTD series. We expect big things from him. Dodsey, previously GTP champion of last IMSA season. That has got a bit of an asterisk on it, though, because the IMSA season did finish early, you know, what have you. But we know that Dodsey's got some good pace. Racing for a new team, though. Racing for a new team in Pacific Esports Racing. So we'll see if that pays dividends for him here tonight. Adam Hughes is back out there. We know he's got pace. See what he can do. Sean Benici, if it doesn't rain, Sean Benici is a genuine challenger. If it does rain, his PC, unfortunately, will crash before he can. So that's an issue. I mean, I'll be looking to see how Jake Edwards does. He's normally quite strong in sports car racing. Jamie Dyke, interestingly enough, V8 Supercars champion for the Pro classification in a GT car. Did not think in my life I would see him racing in open wheelers and GTs in the same season. Be interested to see what he can do this season. Stefan McCart, we know he's got pace as well. Dougie Gowan's out there too. We'll see what he can do as well. So a lot of favourites, a lot of strong competitors in this field. We'll be excited to see how they can traverse themselves round this racetrack here tonight and all the racetracks we have on offer for you this season, ladies and gentlemen.
Some definitely competitive names out there, and you know, history behind them. So it'd be good. It'd be a good contest tonight with all these guys out there. It's good spread of different manufacturers as well. We've got the Porker, the Audi.
It feels good. It feels good to have a solid spread of manufacturers for us, Steph, doesn't it?
It does. It's not just the Porker.
That's it.
It's not the Porker Cup.
And luckily for us, SDK has finally updated their stuff as first time comes in. We finally have car logos. Oh, no, they're not going to work on the broadcast. Thanks for that. But they're in the, at least they're in the data. They're in the data for us. So we do have the data images for them, but they're just not in the overlays, unfortunately. But first time starting to come in, Stefan McCartan has set the pace early here with a time of 2 minutes 17.95. He currently sits a good 0.7 of a second faster than Doug Gowans and P2 for Velocity Sim Labs here tonight. We haven't seen Dougie in a GT car in a little while. Got to give him a big ups to Dougie. He's helped me find a solution to some of my issues this week, as well as Sinker and Daniel Burns. So massive, massive thank you and appreciation to those guys who helped me out, as well as to Adrian Loretti and others who helped give me some tips and some tricks as well in trying to fix some of my issues. They've been a massive help, and it really warms my heart knowing that this community has been willing to help me in some way and trying to produce the best show I possibly can for you guys. And I feel, and I'm fully appreciative, and I hope you guys realize that, because yeah, I had no idea what I was going to do, and everyone stepped up and has tried to help me in some way, so I so appreciate it.
Yeah, sim racing's an awesome community. Everyone backs each other. They all chip in where they can. Yeah, it's one of those things that does warm your heart that, you know, everyone will step in and help where they can if someone's, you know, in a bit of trouble, or you know, with you know, especially with yourself, you're having difficulties with the PC and that kind of thing. It's awesome to see. It's good.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, not just that as well. We look at real racing, and sometimes it can be a eat or be eaten scenario where a lot of drivers will try and find sneaky ways of getting an upper hand on their competitors. I think sim racing, it has those moments of that, but the majority of the time, a lot of people are actually willing to help you and give their support to you as well. And that's, you know, that's just been proven to me in what they've done in the last couple of years. And it is, as I said, massively appreciated. Dylan Shepherd showing up late. Now I've got to add him to the list. Watch this. Watch this. It's gonna make the overlays decide they're not gonna be found, and I'm gonna have to reload them. I guarantee you, he's gonna be the one to break the camel's back. We'll add him to the list though. We'll get him set up in the correct classification. Not Control C. No. Control C. Control V. There we go. Dylan Shepherd in the list. You love to see it. But as I mentioned, big night of racing to come, of course. We've still got 12 minutes of qualifying left. Stefanie Piccoli setting the pace early, but Ryan Bettis is looking to challenge that time. He is the only other driver to set at 2 minutes 17 at the moment. Blake Fitzpatrick is still 2/10 off the back of their lap time at this stage, but he is sitting P3 on the road at the moment. Greg Barber, who we expected more from, is currently P4 and a good 5/10 off the back of Blake and 7/10 off the pole time at this stage. But we think that Barb should be able to get back up there throughout the racing proceedings anyway. And in behind his teammate in Stefanie Piccoli. Will it be a Blackout OPR lockout for tonight's podium finish, or will there be some challenges from Pacific Esports Racing, Team SRW, Frog Leap Juice Racing, anyone like that? We'll have to wait and see, because there will be 60 minutes of hard racing that will decide it all in the end. But Aaron Stanley right now is on for a mega lap here in his Everything Simulated Valve Esports entry. He's on a personal best second and third sector and a session best first sector here in his BMW M4 GT3 car as he comes around Blanchimont. This was my GT3 car of choice for a very long time, Steph, and it did some good things for me. Got me a top 10 at the Bathurst 12 hour. Although I think the old vet currently sits higher than that right now, seeing as it got me a top 5 at the Watkins Glen 6 hour. But across the line, Aaron comes. It is good enough for P4 on the road here tonight with a 2:18.153, I do believe. That is still a little bit off of the pole time of Stefanie Piccoli, 0.24 off of McCartan's time as he pulls it up, and we'll try and reset for another lap. But this man right here, another admin of this series alongside myself, leads the pack at the moment with his 2:17.92. Bettis this time is a 2:17.99. And his all black attack Mustang GTD car. As I mentioned, Blake Fitzpatrick for Pacific Esports Racing sits P3 in his Fez. We have got 5 different manufacturers in the top 5, Steph. It feels good to say that after the Porsche Cup debacle of last season. But I'm looking at the list, and it's looking like Mustang City right now, I must say. There's a lot of Stangs out there.
There is. But look, I think we've spoken about before, you know, with a new car's released, everyone tends to gravitate towards that. So it could just be that. I know there are a few people that have driven the Stang, they love it. Some of them not so much. They find it very similar to a supercar.
Yeah, I think
ways it drives.
I think some of our drivers, and this is not a personal attack on them, I think they're actually just very basic and they just like the raw V8 engine sound, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a great sounding car, isn't it? And it looks
I'll
nice. It looks pretty sick. It sounds great. I mean,
yeah. You can't beat that.
I cannot blame the raw emotion or possible animalistic nature of human beings for picking a raw V8 sounding GT car, because it is pure music, pure cinema. It is fantastic.
One of the best sounding cars out there.
Actually, speaking of good sounding cars, there are no Mercs in the field.
No.
Kind of upset about that. I was hoping we'd see a Merc.
I think the Merc hasn't been updated enough compared to the others. You know, you've got the Ferrari's been updated, you got the Porsche's been updated, the Stang's now introduced, the Vet's been introduced, the Audi I believe had some changes as well, the Beamer's had some changes. It's sort of been left behind.
Well, if you look at it, aside from the Lambo, and I think the Beamer, and obviously the McLaren, but it's McLaren, it's overdue. The Merc is the oldest car in the options. The Mustang and the Corvette released last season. The Audi released in season 1. The Fez released halfway through last year. The Porsche released, I want to say, at the start of last year, if not the end of the year before.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Lambo was 3 or 4 years ago. The Beamer was, I think, 2 years ago, as Jamie Dyke pulls it up off the exit of turn 1. And then, yeah, the Merc, I think, was around about the same time as the BMW. So, it is an older car, but it is a favourite of a lot of drivers still. I do know that.
Yeah.
I just think it just gets forgotten in the BOP. To be honest, I think, honestly, I mean, we look at like the Bathurst 12 hour and a couple other events. The Merc is always up there. The Merc's always strong with like the likes of like the GT World Challenge.
Yeah.
But it never really lines up with an iRacing special event where it's on top of the BOP.
No,
it's just kind of there, you know. Like you think of the Mara Engel Snake Merc. It's a dominant car, but it never really lines up with a real world special event like an IMSA or WEC, well, not a WEC event, but an IMSA event that lines up with iRacing where it is, you know, meta in a way. Because outside of the IMSA events, the special events we have for the GT class outside of IMSA is the Bathurst 12 hour, the Fuji 8 hour, and I think that's it. I can't think of any other official special events outside of those that is non-IMSA.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair about it.
Because the D24...
Nürburgring is.
Oh, and Nürburgring, sorry, the Nürburgring 24 hour. Because IMSA is the D24, the Sebring 12 hour, the Watkins 6 hour, 6 hours of the Brickyard 6 hour, which is new this year at Indy. Petite Le Mans.
It's Daytona, it's IMSA as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the D24.
Sorry.
And the Raw as well. Technically, the Raw before the 24 is also IMSA as well. So, you know, you've got 5 or 6 events that are all IMSA, plus then also the official IMSA series that happens with the 2.4 hour events of like Long Beach, Mo Sport, and others, Mid-Ohio as well. You know, which I love IMSA. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really that lines up with when the Merc's on top. It's just kind of left behind. But regardless, 5 minutes to go in this session. Blake Fitzpatrick has gone to the top of the timing sheets with a 2:17.800 here in his Pacific Esports Racing Ferrari here. He is 7 thousandths of a second faster than Ryan Bettis at the moment in P2. That is absolutely insanely close. Stefan McCartan is in a further 0.11 of a second back in P3 with a 2:17.918, and then Adam Hughes even closer with a 2:17.957 in P4 at the moment. We have 3 minutes 45 seconds left in this qualifying session. Drivers will be allowed to finish their times as it is not a sprint round, it is a 60-minute normal round, so they will be able to finish their lap times past the point of the 20 minutes. They will not get cut off, I don't believe. I'm claiming it. No. I don't believe they will.
I don't think they do.
Because we haven't run a race like this in a long time, I'll be honest with you, so I think they do at least get to finish them. I'm going to make that claim that they do. If they don't, it's all right. So if they want to get if they want to get another time in, they need to be out on track right now, and they need to be lining up to start their next lap before that 20 minutes is up. Obviously, you've got to at least start the lap before the 20 minutes expires. Right now, drivers that can do it: Adam Hughes, he's just moved over for Stefan McCartan. Ryan Bettis can still do it. So can Dodsey. So can Stanley. So can Edwards. Barb, Shepard, Benici. Everyone pretty much is on track at the moment. The only drivers who are not on track at the moment is Blake Fitzpatrick, Doug Gowans, Lockie Brett, Graham Nucky, Andrew Rushworth, Jaden Bazile, Russell Gander, Brad Wall, Wayne Edwards, Jacob Traynor, and Josh King. And I think there's a couple of those drivers who are not in my list, but they're classified. going to double check it. Oh no, maybe they are on my list.
They're all
I think they are. I think they are on my list. Which is good.
Just on that topic of Blake Fitzpatrick, he's at the moment.
He has really improved himself, hasn't he?
He has.
It's like he's won that amateur supercars championship, and all of a sudden he is just driving like no tomorrow.
He is. He's doing really well, and I think from what I've heard, he's fitted in very, very well at Team PER.
Well, he's been there for a little while now.
Yeah, he's been there for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
It's been more than that, hasn't it? He's been there since last year, hasn't it?
No. I don't think so. Or maybe he has.
I could have sworn. Are you thinking of Dodsey?
Oh, I'm probably thinking of Dodsey.
Dodsey's been there for a couple of weeks. He's been there since the start of the season.
But no. Fitzy's doing well.
I think the inclusion of Dodsey is actually pushing Blake a bit further now.
Yeah.
Because he has got someone who's around his pace, or at least someone he can aim to, who he races with. Obviously, John Gallen, he races over in Vets. It's a bit hard to really aim yourself at John Gallen in that term because you really only got one series you race with him in. Dodsey, he could race with him in a multitude of series here in SRW, and he's got someone to aim for. Although right now, Dodsey has someone to aim for in Blake because he's ahead of him on the timing tower. So
used to seeing Dodsey up further up the tower there, but
what happened, Dodsey? You're not getting the frog leap setups anymore. 45 seconds left in this session right now, ladies and gentlemen. So if anyone are going to start their new laps to get a final time into this session, they need to do it right now. They need to get to the line within the next 30 seconds to get their time started if they hope to get another one in. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get an extra lap. And if they're on a lap and it goes to 20 minutes, they can finish the lap. But the likes of Harry Dodds here is at least going to get an opportunity to do one more lap here. Let's look a bit further back down the track. Where's Benici? He's not going to get another lap in. This will be his final run. Jamie Dyke is not quite close enough. This will be his final run, unfortunately. Same for Mitch Noble. Mitch Muller has just started another lap. He comes up towards Radion, so he at least will get this next lap in. This will be Keegan Caldwell's last effort. And Shannon Wright's just missed out on the opportunity to set another lap here in qualifying. Whether that last one counted for him or not, I do not know. But I believe that is qualifying done and dusted for him. It is. He's had to pull over without setting a time in qualifying. Edwards has started another lap. Same with Dylan Shepherd, same with McCartan, same with Adam Hughes, and the same with Ryan Bettis. So this is the battle for pole position. Blake Fitzpatrick has not gone back out on track. He is comfortable in his time, but the rest of the drivers in behind him, in Bettis, Hughes and McCartan, are still out there, and they can still put a challenge in for this pole position if the lap can come together for them. And right now, Stefanie McCartan is the strongest contender with 2 green sectors in the first 2 and an orange in the third. Right on board with him here for the final part of this lap as he comes around Blanchimont. We'll see if he can claim that pole position from Blake Fitzpatrick.
Might just be inside that toe there as well.
He's gone orange in the 4th.
Quite close enough.
Yeah. He comes round the final corner. Is it going to be good enough for McCartan? He's going to come across the line. I don't think it is. He's gone 2:17.62. And Stefan McCartan is currently provisional pole position on the road. With Ryan Bettis now coming up towards Blanchimont. We'll see if he can put a challenge in. He's got Adam Hughes in behind him. But he can't do anything to stop the roaring V8 of the Mustang at the moment, who is right in front of him. Round Blanchimont they come up towards the final couple of corners. It's the final opportunity for Ryan Bettis. He's had to pull out of it. He's let Adam Hughes go through. So can Hughesy now challenge McCartan for pole position here as he comes up to cross the line? Is it going to be good enough for pole? It is not. It's only good enough for P2 at 2:17.73. Bettis had to back out of it. Edwards is going to come round. Can he make it at all? Top 3 lockout for Blackout OPR. Crosses the line. Not good enough to move up the timing tower, unfortunately, there for Jakey Edwards. But Stefan McCartan, he will start pole position for tonight's race. And unfortunately for Blake Fitzpatrick, because he did not get back out on track, He's actually dropped back to P3 and will now start on the second row of the grid, Steph.
I think if you're starting anywhere in the top 3 rows, here at Spa, you're gonna. My theory is you're gonna get through the first few corners cleanly, providing people don't miss their braking point.
That's a great theory.
That's my theory.
Unless, and I'm going to give you a counter theory, you stuff up that corner right there that we're looking at on screen. That is the counter theory. If you absolutely fry your run up Eau Rouge or Radion,
very true.
That can end your hopes in an absolute heartbeat in this race.
It can.
And it can happen at any point. It doesn't necessarily have to be the start, the middle, or the end. It can happen at any point in this race, and it can ruin your entire run to the flag.
It can. And especially with that pit lane, as long as it is, and the tow around here. I know it's a decent tow. I can't remember exactly how long it is, but if they do need a tow, they'll be sitting there
I
for a
would
while.
think it would be...
It'd be about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be above 3 minutes, surely. It'd surely be above 3 minutes. Which we are going to get into the gridding up now of this race, ladies and gentlemen. And your starting grid will run as follows. It'll be Stefan McCartan starting pole position for Blackout OPR ahead of his teammate Adam Hughes for a Blackout OPR front row lockout. Ahead of Pacific Esports Racing's Blake Fitzpatrick out of P3 ahead of Ryan Bettis in P4. Dylan Shepherd and Aaron Stanley, they make up the top 6 cars on the road here tonight ahead of Jake Edwards and Harry Dodds in P7 and P8, with Dougie Gowans and Benjamin Brook making up the top 10. Greg Barber off the pace, quite surprisingly here tonight. He'll start out of P11 ahead of Supercars defending champion Jamie Dyke at a P12 with the number 1 on his car as he earned at the end of last season. Sean Benici, Mitch Noble will then start P13 and P14 with Tom Williams and Lockie Brett in behind them. Graham Nucky and Andrew Rushworth make up the top 9 rows on the grid, with Mitchell Muller and Martin Lipsky making up the top 20. Jaden Basilai and Russell Gander that make up the top 22, with Keegan Caldwell and Brad Wall starting in behind them. We then have Wayne Edwards and Ty Delaney making up the top 26, with Josh King, Shannon Wright, Jacob Traynor making up the rest of the grid. Race controllers will be Greg Leake and Tyson McAvoy here tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen. And it should be, I do believe, a rolling start, and it is. And they will be starting back just before Blanchimont, I do believe. It might be just after Blanchimont, actually.
I think it might just be after.
No.
It's hard to pick.
It is. That's before Blanchimont.
I know it's always the last chicanes included.
Let's see if we can... Hang on. You know what we do? It is after Blanchimont.
It is.
It's after Blanchimont. So
just before the first chicane. The last chicane.
Yeah, just before it. "60 minutes of racing to come, though, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like Blake Fitzpatrick has struggled to get off the line a little bit there. He had a little bit of a blink, unfortunately. McCartan's going to come around the final corner. Fitzpatrick has actually spun it round on the last corner before the start of the race has even occurred, Steph. Lights are going to go up, though. McCartan's going to have control of the field, and Fitzpatrick has dropped to the back of the field off this start. We wait for lights to go up. We wait for McCartan to start the field. It looks as if we're going to be starting on the endurance start-finish line here tonight. Around the first corner, what it would be, that is actually the final corner of this track, seeing as the line is up here. It'll be McCartan Hughes one-on-one at the front of the field. A heap of Blackout OPRs up there. And we are racing at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for round 1 of season 1 of 2024 of the Warren Brown GTD series. Up through Eau Rouge and Radion they come now and traverse their way up the hill. They look nice and tidy, Steph. They managed to survive here on lap 1 as they come down the Kemmel Straight for the first time, and look at all those GTD cars spread out across the track.
They're jostling for position, for track position into the corner here. It's good to say they all sort of found their position before they reached the corner.
Oh, Dozzie's gone round in the background.
Dozzie's gone round.
And that's big damage on the Pacific Esports Racing Ferrari 296 of Harry Dodds. And unfortunately, it is not the perfect start that they would have hoped for in this race. Of course, Fitzpatrick spinning it round before the race even began, and Dodsey not even really able to get going here as he's had a moment at the first chicane at the end of the Kemmel Straight. But right now, it is a blackout OPR top 3 lockout with Ryan Bettis in behind them. Aaron Stanley is then not too far behind, as well as Jake Edwards to make up the top 6 as Bettis now gets past Hughes and into P3 on the road. He looks to chase down Dylan Shepherd and Stefan McCartan at the front of the field as they come round up towards the last couple of corners before the back straight of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. A couple of movers and shakers in the back of the field already. The biggest gainers of this race.
Yeah.
Mitchell Muller, Jaden Basilai and Ty Delaney. They are all up 5 positions in this race as the leaders come down towards Blanchimont for the first time.
They've done very well to make up those spots so early. Yeah, the guys will be settling in now, getting into their groove. It is quite a long race. We're only 2 minutes into a 60-minute. So they will be finding their groove and settling in. Should be good.
Come up towards. Yep, and actually the lap counter is counting at the Grand Prix start-finish line. So the chicane is in fact the final corner of the circuit. They've actually just pushed the start-finish line further around. It's Graham Nucky here starting to get wrestled around by Keegan Caldwell. He's trying to find a way through, but Keegan shuts the door on him as they come up towards Eau Rouge and Radion once again. You can see Ty Delaney, Mark Lipsky side by side up Eau Rouge and Radion here. Oh, it's a dance with destiny, and Ty Delaney had to back out of it. Brad Wall takes advantage, gets it done up the inside at Radion. A great move there from Wall. But he is having a slow up. He's copped himself a slowdown on that run through, and he caught some of that curb at Radion.
I was going to say he's definitely going to have a slowdown for that one. You don't get through there like that without copping one. So unfortunate there. It looked like a good move, but unfortunately he's copped a slowdown.
Unfortunately as well, he's copped a knock off the chicane as well. We just saw Harry Dodds bringing his car into pit lane trying to fix it up. Shannon Wright has been involved for everything simulated racing. Let's get some replays happening for you now of all the action that has occurred over the first couple of laps of this race. It started, actually it started before this one. This was Harry Dodd's incident down at the end of the Kemmel Straight. He had a knock with one of the blackout OPR Audis, and that's then sent him into the fence. This was Blake Fitzpatrick's moment before the green flag even flew. He'd spun it round and he had to wait for the whole field to come past him pretty much before he could get going again, unfortunately. Jamie Dyke had a minor off-track as well, so did Ryan Bettis too. And then it only got worse for Fitzpatrick on lap 2. Had a slight off-track here at the end of the main straight before the run-up towards Eau Rouge. In fact, he actually had a bit of a blink there, unfortunately. But this was Brad Wall's moment with Shannon Wright up at the end of the Kemmel Straight. See him here, he's 70 slowed down, he's off the line, he's doing everything right. At this point, he then goes to enter the corner. There's Wright, and he just cuts in across in front of him. I mean, Brad's doing everything he can there. He's serving his slowdown. Wright is not completely past him at that point. He still has to give him room. Even though Brad is serving a slowdown, he still has the corner because he's on the inside.
Yeah. He's done everything he can there. He's done the best he can. It's kept you out of the way.
Exactly. He served that slowdown off the line. He tried to serve it up to the corner as best he could. I mean, realistically, maybe Shannon could have been a little bit more patient and waited until after the corner to get it done. I don't know. It's just one of those things that happen as Adam Hughes is coming past Dylan Shepherd, who's also copped himself a slowdown through Radion. He now drops back to P5 on the road. Look at all these blackout OPR cars at the front of the end of the field. They are the team that was probably selling the hardest for GTDs to continue on Friday nights, I reckon, by the look of this.
So.
Well, I can't blame him. We've got a good field here tonight and had some good racing. Good. Jacob Traynor has not made the start of this race, unfortunately, Steph, so we now do not have a Lamborghini in the field, unfortunately, as Sean Benici has moved over to a Corvette, so he can't even bring up that end of the field. He has his little Deadpool on his air intake. I saw Deadpool yesterday. It was actually a pretty good movie.
The new one?
Yeah, with Wolverine.
Yeah.
It was a good
Nice.
Yeah.
On the list. It's on the list.
It was a good
On
time.
the list to,
It was a good
to
time.
go and have a gaze at it.
There's some good surprises in it, I will say that.
I just did hear through race control there is no further action on that lap one.
Fair enough. I mean, there didn't really seem to be much in it.
No.
Doddsy kind of just came through the corner, moved over, and there was a car there. You know, what else was he supposed to do? Unfortunately, Tidal Laney is in the pits and maybe out of this race as well, as he's about to go a lap down on Stefan McCartan when he traverses round to start his next lap, unless Ty can get out in a couple of moments, which does not look like he is going to be doing. Currently fast up the race is held by Dylan Shepherd at 218.52. Set that on the last lap of the race. It has now been beaten though by Ryan Bettis with a 218.48. So the times are coming in quick and fast. We do expect rain in this race though, Steph. The clouds are starting to get a bit dark, and it's going to be interesting when the swap over point is for these guys and when they come in for those wet tyres.
Yeah, I was looking at the radar before and it didn't show anything, but it's going to be a tricky one. Because currently the forecast is showing nil. Yes. But, as we do know how quick it can change.
It's like a coin flip, isn't it? It can flip on its head.
It'll change. Look, I know when I was racing, when we were racing in the Spa-24, it went from 99% to 98% within 5 minutes, but realistically it actually went to 0.
Yeah.
We checked like a minute later and it was already back to 0. So it does change very quickly. You can't, get your chickens because, and put all your. I think it's gonna be a full dry running because you never know at Spa. So they're gonna throw a curveball somewhere.
Speaking of curveballs, Dougie Gowans has run it wide into the dirt. We have a chat here from Amira Bajada. I don't know if I want to attempt to read that because that is not in my native tongue. I think it's French. It might be something else though. I don't know. That was a self-speaker from Doug, unfortunately. But we appreciate you watching from wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying the show. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified anytime we go racing with this much epic action on offer for you here in Sim Racing World TV. A couple other chats we've got out there. We've got Mark Cochran joining us, Team Go Team Apex, and Russell Gander. Brad Hayes is out there giving his love to Team Apex as well. He also said go Rusty as well. Commentary from Stefan Ham. Oh, stop it. We are spoiled tonight. Thank you so much, Brad. We so appreciate it. Mick Clifton out there as well saying Ford Power, Go Team Apex and Gander as well. And then Stephen Banks giving the love to Blake Fitzpatrick for his pole lap, which unfortunately has been all for nothing at this point. As he has dropped pretty much to the back of the field, as well as Brad Wall, who has actually just had a bit of a spin now in the midpoint of the track. So his night's only going from bad to worse. And it seems that the Mustang is still dealing with its same issues that it previously has, Steph, of being a bit rear-end heavy and liking to just have a bit of a Beyblade moment and a bit of a rotation,
Yeah, I'd like to swap the ends. I don't know. It's one of those hard ones because you can settle it down, but then you lose top end speed, or you lose the turn in. It's a hard balance to find in that stain.
Yeah, it's a car that you have to, and it's a balancing act, isn't it, Steph, of trying to set it up to counteract that oversteer, that snap oversteer that it gets when you're coming through corner. But as soon as you counteract that, it then gets understeer. As Lockie Brett is having a big blinky bill time right now in front of Greg Barber. And that may have been a bit of a sweaty moment for Greg, with Lockie just disappearing right in front of him there. But yeah, it's one of those, it's a tough car to really get settled. I found that, at least with the Corvette in comparison, the Corvette was quite understeery when you first get it, but you can actually, you can work it out of it.
That's
kind
right.
of massage it out of it with a setup. It doesn't feel too oversteery when you actually work it out. The Mustang though, you try and work it out, you can kind of then uncover a whole heap of other issues that are kind of deep lying from that.
You can settle the rear, but and stop it from the snap oversteer and wanting to swap ends on you, but then you get understeer, or you then end up with top end speed loss up straight, and corner exit speed and that kind of thing. You sort of
and you can set it up to be you can set it up to be quite a pointy car, but I also just saw it then off the back of Lockie's car with how that kind of handled that corner off. You can set it up to be a car that's very, very good on your corner entry, but as soon as you turn in too late and you turn in too hard, the thing just cracks, and it just wants to slide. Yeah, if you're riding the brake, it just wants to slide. It just wants to get into those slow spins that we've seen so many times in these types of cars. That you can get it to be super pointy, super good through the corners. You give up some stuff on the straight, but unfortunately, it'll be very susceptible to those slow spins as Barber looks to get this move done. Around the outside towards turn 1 now on the Lockie Brett. He's going to just tuck that Blackout OPR Porsche on the outside line. Brett's going to squeeze him all the way to the line, and they're going to run 2 wide up towards Eau Rouge and Radion. We'll see if either of them back out of it here. Oh, Barb's just got some balls. They've gone 2 wide through Eau Rouge. He's had to back out of it for Radion, but he's going to have the run down the Kemmel straight up towards the chicane.
That could have gone one of 2 ways there.
Yeah, and it definitely went one of 2 ways. The other way would have been in the wall. As he looks for the outside run on Lockie now into the chicane, but Lockie defending hard here, defending well in the 39 entry. Right ahead of Greg Barber as they come up towards the end of the chicane. Barbs cannot find a pathway past that absolute boat of a Mustang, and he's now under pressure from Mitchell Muller and Dougie Gowans in behind him at the moment.
That's why we're having that they'll have that little battle there through Radion and Eau Rouge. There was a black and white flag given to Brett for weaving down the straight.
So that is he's used too many moves down the straight, it seems, down the Kemmel straight. Let's try and find when Barbs has tried to initially pass him. This will be it here. So he goes to pass him down at turn 1. Can't get this done around the outside. But then let's just sit with them here up towards the end of the Kemmel straight. So we'll go on board with Barbs. So you see he's alongside Lockie Brett. This is all fine and dandy. They're 2 wide up towards Eau Rouge, and they'll be thinking, one of us may want to back out of this at the moment. Has to give up. And then let's watch this now. So they've come out of that corner. Lockie's holding that inside line. Barbs goes to the left. Lockie covers. He then goes to the right. Lockie covers again. He's then going to try and go for the outside run. And Lockie,
might have been the lap prior.
Possibly could have been the lap prior. I think it would have been, because I don't know if Leakey and Tyson would have been all over it that quickly. They might have been looking quick. They're pretty quick, but they might have been. All credit to them. They're pretty quick.
They're quick.
But I don't know if they would have had to be watching that like an absolute hawk at that moment to check it. As they come up through Eau Rouge, Radion again. Brett's going to hold the outside line. He's going to full center, but that's going to be a slowdown for him. Barbs is going to get this for free. But so, though, is Mitchell Muller and Doug Gowans as they try and get past him here down the Kemmel straight. He has to serve this off the racing line. He's still moving over on them. He's trying to squeeze Barbs here. Brett may have some answering to do if he's going to move like this down the straight, Steph, because he's trying to hold that position right now as Barbs is trying to get this done down the inside. Brett's still going to survive, but the race controllers may have something to say about that because he was squeezing the life out of him there.
He was, and I hope for his sake he had dropped that slowdown. Otherwise, all that will be for nothing for a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, so it's a tough break, but he's under immense pressure right now. It's maximum pressure, in fact, from Greg Barber in behind him. Gowans is in behind him as well. I agree. Lick the stamp, send it on him. If he's going to defend like that.
Full send.
Oh, just, park the bus.
Just throw up the inside.
Well, you know what? I'll give you a hot tip, Steph. You know what we say during an endurance race, and it's one thing we said to the driver at the last stint of the 6 hours of the Glen. Get the dogs and park the bus. And that is what Greg Barber needs to do right now. He needs to get the dogs, and once he's past them, he needs to park the bus. and just
That's right.
move on. So that's what he's going to have to try and attempt here, as Graham Nucky has ran it wide and spun it round before the double right-hander. Needs to be careful of the rejoin ahead of Martin Lipsky. That was so close.
No.
Oh, my God. Oh, and, I mean, some of
that could have been bad.
some of the driving standards right now. Come on. Come on. It's, you know, we love a bit of chaos, but, you know, let's just settle our pedals a little bit here. We don't want to get into anything too bad. And unfortunately for Nucky, he's actually had an incident again, and he has unfortunately towed back to pits without permission. That'll be race done and dusted for him, I think, unfortunately. But Greg Barber is still trying to get past Lockie Brett as best as he can. See if he can get it done this time. He's opting for the strategy of not going too wide up Rouge and Radion to maximise the run. That's going to be a slowdown though for Greg Barber, and that may ruin the run for him. Actually, he might. Oh, does he have it?
He might have just got away with it.
No, he is. He's got to slow down. He's given it up. Yeah, he's got to slow down.
Yep.
So he's let them go, and that's smart play there from Greg. Let him go, tuck in behind them, smash on for the rest of the lap. You know, let Dougie have a crack at getting past Lockie. I mean, you know, nothing against Dougie, but he doesn't mind a bit of a touch here now and again. But Jaden Bajawai has shot it round in behind and put it hard into the wall. Careful of the rejoin! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh!
Check the relative, fellas. What he's doing?
These rejoins, Steph. Oh my God! Oh my God!
No!
Oh, we've got 43 minutes left. What are these rejoins? And Bajawai's jumped back to pits. That's going to be race over for him, unfortunately. He's going to get disqualified for towing without permission, as Brad Wall has had an incident, but he has actually entered pit lane, luckily for him, but that car is hurting right now. That thing has got some major damage on it.
Look at the front right. Oh, goodness
hey,
gracious.
what an apex that wheel is on, Steph.
Just a bit of negative camber
there. Just a bit of camber on there, you know, bit of what would it be? It'd be caster, bit of negative caster going on, bit of positive caster, whatever it is. Tom Williams.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Oh, but Lockie Brett has finally cracked under the pressure, and Doug Gowans looks to fry him up in a pan of gold right now. Gets it done round the outside of the final corner. Someone has finally gotten past Lockie Brett here, and we're on to lap 9, and now he is susceptible to the likes of Tom Williams and Greg Barber once again in behind, and Doug Gowans looks to get released up the road, but he has 7.1 seconds to gain to Jamie Dyke up the road from him.
Kudos to Lockie Brett. He's making that stang so wide.
You know what? Game respects game. I would be defending like an absolute bitch as well, and he is doing that. I've done it many times. Fair play. I mean, he is stretching the length of the rules a little bit in some of his moves, but all in all, he is defending well across the majority of the track. So he is at least... That is one of his positives right now. He's actually defending very, very well. That's going to work well for Doug Gowans, because if he defends as hard as he has been, Doug Gowans is going to run away because he's going to be too busy worried about Tom Williams in behind him.
If anything, these guys should be working together to close that gap up to Jamie Dyke.
Exactly.
Because the more they battle, further back they're going to go.
Well,
so you can slow them up even more.
Their hope has to be that Dykey tries to battle with Benjamin Brook, and these guys look to be working together at the moment. So,
yeah,
you know, and I can appreciate that Dykey's actually running the IMSA headlights on that car to match his golden Piranha. I can appreciate that.
I like that.
I love the IMSA headlights on these cars, and I like the fact that he's done that on his GTD car. So that's very, very good. Dougie Gowans, though, is running the regular GT headlights on his car, and he looks to run away from Lockie Brett at the moment. He's already built that gap out to just about a second, as Brett looks to be under pressure now from Tom Williams and Greg Barber in behind him, although they have kind of petered out into their rhythm just a little bit. But at the moment, there has been a change for lead. Ryan Bettis has taken the lead from Stefan McCart, He looks to try and run away from him, but this battle is still close, and the rest of the Blackout OPR boys, they're just on a Sunday drive at the moment in behind them.
Yeah, some of them out there look like they're just cruising.
Oh, there it goes.
Cruising around and waiting.
There it goes. Reload that. I do apologise. I was waiting for it. Yep, thank you, iRace. Yep, thanks, live timing. We're going to restart you.
Yep.
It happens. It's fine.
Technology, eh? What to do without it? Can't live with it. Can't live without it.
Well, it was proven last Friday, wasn't it?
It was.
That no one
exactly
can live without
right.
it, so.
Exactly right. Having a look through the field here at the moment. Josh King is up 10 spots at the moment.
What a game. And I'll tell you what, big shout out to Josh King and to Mitch Noble. Those blokes have really worked on improving themselves recently. Across all forms of racing, they have improved themselves massively. Now, they're still susceptible to the odd spin here and there. It's the Sinkovich way of Team SRW. But, I know, just a cheeky but, fair play to them. They have honestly gone above and beyond to better themselves on iRacing. And I'm incredibly impressed by how well Mitch Noble has improved in the V8 Supercar on Tuesday nights. He has improved immensely in that car, and he looks like a completely different driver that he was compared to season 1 of 2024 when he first hopped into that car off of Assetto Corsa.
It's going from Assetto Corsa to iRacing is a big change.
Well, not just Assetto Corsa, but Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Well,
so
yeah.
Even bigger jump, arguably.
Yes. Yeah.
So he has done very, very well to adapt and to improve upon himself. Where is he at the moment? He is all the way back in P21st, P21. Again, had a couple of spins tonight. He's getting used to this car. Maybe a bit of a poor setup, whatever it might be. He'll be all right. He'll get better with it as time goes on.
That's it.
Scrabble though is starting to heat up a little bit here. Andrew Rushworth, Mitchell Muller, and Blake Fitzpatrick in the battle for P13. What could have been for Blake Fitzpatrick at the start of this race, Steph. Unfortunately, he kind of wrecked it before it even got going, didn't he?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that happened, but look, he'll move on up. He's, like we were saying earlier, he's fairly quick and everything, so, I'm sure he'll be making some moves and some further gains.
Yeah, realistically, it's been a night to forget for him, hasn't it?
Up to this point, yes.
I mean, not even just for him, just for Pacific Esports in general. I mean, Dodzy crashing on lap 1, himself crashing before the race even started after starting so high up in the order. It's just unfortunate, but he did show that he had some good pace, and he can still string something together from this race, and he can still string something together from this championship in this season going forward. There will be many challenges to come this season, but Blake has proved already tonight that he can get it done as long as he can make the green flag. That's the major caveat to that. He needs to make the green flag for it to actually happen. Can confirm Jaden Bachelor has been disqualified from this race as he is classified under Jacob Traynor, who has not even started the race yet. So he unfortunately is out of this one, which is a shame. And unfortunately as well, Brad Wall is a lap down now, and Ty Delaney has not rejoined the circuit after going into the pits on lap 2. So on lap 3, sorry. So unfortunately he looks to be out of this one as well. There's a battle up ahead here for P3 on the road. These guys are getting off tracks left, right and centre right now as they are just trying to stay behind each other and not let Stefan McCartan and Ryan Bettis run away with this thing. Aaron Stanley is currently the highest situated everything simulated racing driver out on track in P3 on the road at the moment. He has a fast approaching Blackout OPR trio of Adam Hughes, Jake Edwards and Dylan Shepherd in behind, as Stefan McCartan now looks to take the lead from Bettis into the final couple of corners, but Bettis is not going to let him run away just too quickly yet as they come up to cross the line to start lap number 12, and 25 minutes has absolutely flown by, Steph. It has just absolutely just gone. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, it's normally sort of when you're racing, when you're racing in the long races, it can feel forever if you're not in a battle pack. If you're on your own, you know, if you don't have someone in your line of sight, it can make it feel like it takes forever to reach the finish line. But yeah, when these guys are all sort of, you know, in their own little battle packs at the minute, it would be feeling like it's going pretty quick for them too.
Ben Brook, Mitch Muller, Keegan Caldwell all into the lane now to start their pit stops. Quite an early stop for them, I would think. Steph, maybe they're committing to the two-stop strategy here tonight.
Potentially.
I'm not sure. Unless they are actually carrying some damage, of course, then they would be coming into trying to get that fixed up for themselves as well. I must say, ladies and gentlemen, big thank you goes out to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, Warren Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, and Cooler Master. Of course, Cooler Master coming on board this season to be the title sponsor of the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship on Wednesday night's big event coming up at the end of the season for that one, the Open Wheeler Championship, in a battle between SRW and GSRC, our top 20 drivers versus their top 20 drivers in a one-shot knockout event. At the end of the season, you guys do not want to miss that one, so be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon. It will be streamed on the SRW channel as well as the GSRC channel as well. You pick who you want to support by watching whichever stream it's going to be. It's going to be absolutely epic. Of course, Warren Brown sticking with us here for not only the Tuesday and Sunday Supercars Series and Supercars Championship, but also the Friday night delight of the GTD Series as well. Legends World Challenge, that started earlier tonight for the first round of the season. It's a free championship. It was absolutely epic. If you guys missed any of that action, be sure to go check it out after this one. It was absolutely incredible. 2 races, 10-minute heat, 15-minute feature, and it was ballistic. Balls to the wall action across the board. As I mentioned, Wednesday, Cooler Masters Super Formula Championships. That was absolutely epic. I unfortunately missed last night Shannon's Insurance GR86 Nationals, but I heard that one was an absolute belter out at Navarra as well.
Yes,
so
I can confirm.
Very good. I'm glad you can confirm. So, and still to come this racing week/weekend, Sunday night, we have more Supercars action to come for the Warren Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. Those guys will be back at Monza for some more fast-paced action, and it was chaos early doors Tuesday night. Lap 1 before turn 1, we had a massive stack on the main straight. It was huge, and it ruined Sinker's prediction of 0 safety cars in about 30 seconds because we got one straight away. But all the action's still to come for the rest of this season, ladies and gentlemen. There is still 8 rounds of the GTD Series brought to you by Warren Brown Tools and the Legends World Challenge to come this season, and 7 rounds of the rest of our championships on offer as well. So you want to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. There's so much action to come. 6 series on offer for you across 5 nights a week. You guys do not want to be missing out on any of the action. And it is, of course, all free and right here on the Sim Racing World TV YouTube channel. It is going to be absolutely epic, Steph. The first 25 minutes or first half an hour of this race has been absolutely hectic as more pit stops start to occur. Sean Benici, Lockie Brett, Andrew Rushworth, Josh King, Mitch Noble all bring their cars into pits. Ironically, though, Tom Williams, Blake Fitzpatrick, and Greg Barber have all stayed out longer than Lockie Brett. They will be trying to overcut him right now and hoping that he slows himself up in the battles when he gets out of pit lane.
Yes, it's going to be a battle of the pit exits, I think, and who's going to get the undercut, if the undercut will come into play here tonight.
This track, especially with this pit lane, is not really an undercut track.
No,
because
not overly,
I find undercut works best when the lap time as McCartan and Bettis come in. I find it works best when the lap time is about 1:45 or less.
Yeah.
When you're getting upwards of 2 minutes, especially about 2:18, the lap's too long, you know, to really get any benefit out of it, especially because if you don't have the toe down the Camel Straight, you can even give up, depending on your setup, you can give up upwards of 10 to 20 kilometers per hour down the straight. So
yeah,
I don't think this track really suits the undercut that well. If I'm honest, I don't think it does. as pit stops are well underway. Barbs, Fitzpatrick, Williams, Gowans, Dyke, Edwards, Hughes, Bettis, McCartan all into the lane. We expect Russell Gander to follow them in as well in his entry here tonight. Aaron Stanley is currently the top seeded car on track to have taken a pit stop, and he has just come through Blanchemont up to the last couple of corners now. He's got Dylan Shepherd right in behind, as McCartan, Hughes and Bettis all go up on the jacks here tonight for their one pit stop. We had rain on the horizon, Steph, and we haven't seen any moisture just yet.
No.
At least on the track. I can't speak for anyone else watching, but at least on the track we've had no moisture.
Let's look at the radar at the moment. I can't see any incoming yet.
Bettis, McCartan, Hughes have all come out of the pit lane. Bettis has jumped Stefan McCartan here in this pit stop. There is Stanley. He's just come round Radion, so he's now going to have the run down the straight. Jamie Dyke has now exited pit lane. Where is Lockie Brett? He is coming up towards the first corner here. Where is Barbs and Williams? Barbs is still up on the jacks. He's just dropped. So did Williams. Where is Brett? Brett is about to come up towards Eau Rouge and Radion. This is going to be super, super tight, Steph, but I think he's going to have the run on them up the hill because he's going to be at full pace.
Going to be close, but yeah, I think Brett may get the benefit here.
He's lost out to Williams, but he has gained on Greg Barber, who's come out in behind Rushworth. What's Barbs done as Brett sends it up the inside of Williams? He has to let him have it at that point. Barbs has actually gone about half a second longer than what Rushworth did. But he has actually gone faster than what Williams did, but still slower than Brett. So that's very interesting how that's actually worked out on their pit stops. I wonder if they took tyres.
I
wouldn't either, because your tyres are not going to wear out until the hour.
No.
But you are taking enough fuel to cover the tyres, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, look, I probably... Well, that lap of having cold, low-pressure tyres outweigh towards the end of the stint.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like
if you're further back, it's worth the risk because you're going to cover the tyres with the fuel. But I think if you're at the front, it's not worth the risk at that point.
No, not at all.
You know, if you're, say, maybe in Dodsy's position, you might take him.
Yeah, I think sort of anything...
Or Graham Nucky's position, which
anything from sort of, I would have thought 15th and upwards. From Fitzpatrick up, I probably wouldn't take them because you're going to be in more of a battling position. You're going to want to have that tyre temp, and pressure there ready to go. You're not going to want to be, trying to hold your position and dealing with cold tyres at the same time.
That's very, very true. But I guess the one benefit that this track has is your tyres will be up to temp by the end of the lap. That is probably the benefit of this track.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. And again, it's a real dice roll. I think you can get away with it, but strategically it's not the best play. I think strategically you're better off just sticking with the tyres you got. They're going to last the hour. Yes, they're going to be burnt out by the end. Now, one of the benefits could be if you have pushed, say, Lockie Brett, for example, who's been defending super hard, his tyres would be a lot more worn out right now than the likes of, say, Greg Barber or Andrew Rushworth or Tom Williams.
Yeah.
In that scenario, do you anticipate him to not take tyres? You then take tyres, deal with the cold tyres early in the stint, but have the much fresher tyres by the end of the race where you can actually effectively attack him and he cannot defend as hard as he has been?
I think it sort of depends on where you're positioned. I think it sort of comes back to your track position at the time as well.
Well, let's look at this. Doug Gowans got past Lockie Brett, what, 5 laps ago?
Yeah.
6 laps ago? He's 7 seconds ahead of him now.
Yeah. He's lost that mid-corner grip.
Well, not just that.
grip potential.
Because he's having to defend so hard, and Dougie's had free track, free reign. He's just been able to chip away and run ahead. He's probably gaining about a second a lap on him at this point, just based on the fact that Lockie's having to defend so hard. You know, so it's like I think personally, right, if I'm in this situation, right, so I'm a spotter for my team normally on Thursday night for vets. I try and make the strategic decisions as best I can. I will say to you, if they had worked out yesterday, we would have had 2 people in the top 10, not just one, unfortunately. One of my drivers got taken out because someone got spun round on the main straight at Monza, right next to the pit exit. My driver was coming out of pits, and someone didn't realise the car was there, braked, locked up, went straight in front of my driver's car as they came out of the pit lane. Nowhere to go.
Oh, no.
Can't help that when it happens, right?
No, you can't.
If I was in this position, and I was, say, spotting for Williams, I don't know, Barb's not going to take tires. Say I'm spotting for Williams, say I'm spotting for Rushworth.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm watching the starter and I'm seeing Doug Gowans has gained 7 seconds, right? Say it was 5 seconds before the stop. I'd be thinking to myself, you know what? Let's chuck some fresh tyres on. He's not going to run away from us because he's still going to be defending. We're going to be able to stick with him. We're going to be able to get the tyres up to temp. Let's take the fresh tyres and let's use the fresh tyres to our advantage and try and get past him as quickly as possible. To then chase down the rest of the field who also have not taken tyres. Right? That's the scenario that's in my head at the moment as a spotter. As a driver, would I personally make the decision to take tyres? Probably not. I probably wouldn't. But seeing as they're covered by the fuel, as a spotter, I would say yes, driver. Probably not. I probably wouldn't, let's be honest. I'd probably clear all and then just take the fuel.
That's it.
But, you know, it's hard sometimes. Now, you see, you know, Tom's let Greg go past because he knows Greg's probably actually going to get this done because Lockie's tyres are shot at this point. At least a lot more than what Greg's are. They're super hot, they're well worn, and Greg is an assailant on the attack. Like, he's going to try and get this done as best as possible. He's got 20-odd minutes to do it. I think Greg gets past him within the next 10.
Oh, I would say the next 10, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Greg's a very smart racer and strategical. Strategical. That's the word, yeah. After a bit of a long week. No, look, he'll get it done. He will get it done. Yeah, I mean, the gap is already closed up there. It's a huge gap already that's diminished.
Well,
especially anything there now.
Doug Gowans, right, and Lockie Brett was not under attack that last lap. Doug Gowans has gained a second. Yep. On that last lap, he's gained a second. So Doug Gowans' last lap was a 19.86. Lockie's was a 220.7. He is struggling right now on those tyres. And I tell you, it'll be the rears. Those rears are going to be shot.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen Lockie drive too often, but I reckon 8 times out of 10, that car's going to spin in the last 20 minutes of this race. Because he has burnt them out so hard.
Yeah. And with it being such a long race, you sort of don't... Oh.
Here comes Barbs.
Barbs sends it.
Yep. He's got the corner. He's ahead of Brett. Brett's going to try and defend it. Barbs is going to hang it round the outside up towards the chicane. He's got the move done. Brett is trying to defend this. Nah, and yep, that right there. Yep. I'm sorry. Brett needs to. No, Barbs will be over the radio for that one.
I haven't heard him yet. But he look.
Yeah, Barbs is not happy. He is flashing the hell out of him right now. He is not happy with that.
I don't blame him. I would be going off my tree to myself at the moment.
Oh, that's a big moment in the background. Sorry to cut you off quickly, Steph. I believe that was Mitchell Muller. He's gone round at the end of the long left. Very lucky to have not hit the wall. But maybe the tyres are starting to go off for a couple other drivers as well. And Barbs has now got this done. Brett's still trying to come back at him here. Oh, this is going to cause an accident. This is seriously going to cause an accident. Fitzpatrick's trying to get up on him as well. They're too wide through Blanchimont. Brett, they're door banging at the moment up towards the final chicane. This is going to end in absolute tears if there's no reprieve. Brett's trying to defend. There he goes with those rear tyres. As I mentioned, Steph Barbs has gotten it done. And I hate saying things poorly about drivers, but the way that he was defending, you knew it was going to happen.
It was a matter of time. I think Brett's just called that in for race control to review, actually. So we'll wait and see what they come up with that, but that could have ended so much earlier.
It could have ended so much and so much worse. That was it was incredibly avoidable.
Oh, I thought they were both in the wall.
So did I. Genuinely, so did I. And obviously, you know,
having a dig now.
He is. The decision obviously is with race control how they view that.
That's
whatever
right.
it is.
They've got all the angles, slow-mos, and all that sort of stuff.
And they look at a multitude of detail. From our point of view, that was super avoidable, and he was defending. And you got to remember, he's defending that hard against the head of RC for SRW. So Greg knows the rules. He knows how hard you can defend, and he'll cop penalties on his chin when they occur. But sometimes you just got to take the L.
That's
right. At some point, like you just got to, and sometimes it's for your own benefit as well.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, look. You look at you know, that Dougie Gowans now is 12 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, so yeah. If personally, if it was a little bit cleaner, they probably wouldn't have dropped that far back. Wouldn't have been that far back.
No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. For sure, they wouldn't have.
That's hurt them big time.
It has absolutely hurt them big time. Yeah. Let's say that is. Yeah, it was crap. It was honestly. It's just like. I'm all for being fair. That was not fair racing.
No.
That was not fair at all.
There's been some interesting head in helmet decisions.
And I honestly, and you know what? If he learns from it and he comes back and he improves upon it, fair play.
Yeah,
fair play. You know? Like that's how you got to look at it. You got to be fair with not only yourself, with your competitors as well, and look at it from the perspective: should I have defended that hard? You know?
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't matter who it is.
You got Steve Sinker in the chat.
Yeah, I know. He's just said there was crap by Lockie.
Call it as it is. Try to be diplomatic, Steve. Yeah, trying to be diplomatic and fair.
I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I possibly can, as Lockie's now gotten past Andrew Rushworth. And I mean, by the way he's driving, I wouldn't be surprised if someone had a target on their back. But there's 15 minutes left. Greg Barber's finally been released into the top 10. And he's got Blake Fitzpatrick all over the back of him now, as well as Tom Williams. So let's head up, though, towards the front of the field, where Ryan Bettis is under immense pressure right now from Stefan McCartan. And this is for the lead of this race. And these guys have been swapping and changing positions all the way through, Steph. We haven't really been catching it that often, but these guys, they are racing for sheep stations right now at the front of the field. Sinker. Oh, Sinker. Oh, you're a classic. Absolute classic. Fair play.
Goodness gracious.
We'll let Sinker say those things. I don't want to say those things.
That's it. No. We'll leave it to.
We'll leave it to the chat. We'll leave it to the chat to decide.
That's yeah.
15 minutes to
Been
go, though,
interesting.
Steph. And, well, Ryan Bettis, he does not have this one in hand as comfortably as Brett Canesi had it earlier tonight in the Legends World Challenge. He's got a 0.4 of a second gap over Stefan McCartan, who is hungry to take a win on a Friday night. It's been a long time between drinks for Stefan McCartan. I don't think I've seen Ryan in a race in a little while here in SRW. Oh, bloody hell. Sinker loves telling us to look at Jamie Dyke's moves. He's gotten around Sean Bonici. Where is his move? I can't even see his moves. He's 16 seconds off the battle, Sinker.
Oh, I think he's talking about how many spots he's moved up.
Oh, yes. Well, he's up 6. The biggest mover so far is Josh King, who's up 13.
It is.
In fact, let's get the correct number. He is up 12, because he started behind the safety car. He's up 12 positions in this race.
Great
He's
effort.
the biggest mover so far. Fantastic effort from Josh. Fantastic effort from him. That was... it's been exceptional. He's had a couple little niggles tonight. Same with Mitch. But again, they're getting better. You know, they're getting better, and they're really starting to move on up and get into their strides. And I think, you know... Steph, the smart one in the room. What do you mean? He's up 6 spots. I mean, Sean's up 6 as well. These guys have had a great race.
They're doing well.
They have been lucky that they haven't been caught up in a battle, really. They've been kind of just moving on through the field and just kind of traversing, you know, on their way up. Rushworth's same. He's up 4. Muller's up 4 as well, even after a slight spin. Shannon Wright, he is up 8 positions. Let me double check the corrected. He's up 7 positions.
7.
He's P22, but he is up those 7 positions. Now, yes, every car in behind him is either out of this race or in the pits. But he's having a good run, you know, and he's having a fun run, and it's a consistent run, and that's fair play. Brad Wall, he's been in the wars tonight. He's been in the wall tonight. It's unfortunate. Martin Lipsky, you know, room for improvement, I'm sure. Good effort. Harry Dodds, a little bit underwhelming. Fastest lap of the race, Sinker, is currently held by Mr. Dylan Shepherd with a 2:18.35, and he currently sits P4 on the road at the moment in their little blackout OPR train. They've got Aaron Stanley in behind them at the moment, who's trying to break that run of 3 blackout OPR cars in a row. Ryan Bettis, though, is stopping it from being a blackout OPR. Podium lockout at the moment, as he sits P1 on the road right ahead of Stefan McCartan. A bit further back, Blake Fitzpatrick and Greg Barber continuing their battle here for P10 on the road. They've got Tom Williams in behind them as they look up ahead towards the end of the Kemmel Straight. They're sitting on board now with Blake. See how he's going to try and attack this one in behind Greg Barber as he gets right up behind him under brakes. That was a pucker moment for sure for Blake. Would not be surprised if he now has a brown seat in that Ferrari. He nearly ate the engine bay of that Porsche 911 GT3 car.
Fair suit to car 6.8
Well,
P11.
I mean,
thank you.
let's just point out he has a white suit on as well, so he's not really going to be able to hide the stains if they have accrued.
I hope Stephen Banks has a good dry cleaner.
I hope so too. Because very big Code Brown, big Code Brown Sinker. Maybe they need to change the team name to Code Brown Racing. I bet you that's a thing already. I guarantee you someone has a team name called Code Brown Racing. CBR, it just goes well. That was a brown flag, Sinker. That was a brown flag. The marshals had that one out.
He's thinking of it all out tonight, isn't he? I love it.
He's having to get all of his chirps in because he's not in the booth. That's what it is.
Oh, I love it.
10 minutes to go of this race, though, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for P10 is still on between Blake Fitzpatrick and Greg Barber, alongside the battle for the win of this race between Stefan McCartan and Ryan Bettis for the top 2 positions on the road. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, though, between Fitzpatrick and Barber, as they look ahead to another lap of Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. 10 minutes to go until we wave the checkered flag on round number 1. And we look ahead to round number 2 next week, which I'm quickly going to pull up the calendar for so I know what track it is at. For the Nürburgring GP circuit. I actually haven't had a proper look at the calendar this season for GTs. Obviously, we start at Spa, Nürburgring this week, next week, Mugello, Imola, Road America, Hockenheim, Daytona, Portimao, and then Driver's Choice to end out the season. Yes, please. That is going to be exceptional as Fitzpatrick looks to line this up at the end of the Kemmel Straight into the chicane. Plenty of racing room given. They're still too wide through the next part of the corner, and that is how you get the position done at the end of the Kemmel Straight at the chicane. No doors banged at all, Steph. Plenty of racing room left to give. And Barb's, you know what? I reckon that right there was a flash of appreciation. Yeah, that's what that was.
Racecraft appreciation.
Exactly right, Steph. Exactly right. He is appreciative of the amount of racing room given and the amount of respect given at that corner right then and there. McCartan, though, looks to go around the outside of Bettis. Gets it done on the inside of the final corner. They've swapped positions again. And the sprint is on for the final 8 minutes of this race. They are continuing on in this one, and the battle for the top 2 is not over just yet. Jamie Davis in the chat saying solid work by everyone this race, including RC and you guys in the box. Thanks so much, Jamie. Really appreciate it, mate. Glad that you had fun earlier tonight in the Legends. Hope to see you back here next week for that one as well. And we look ahead. This is turning into an intense one at the front of the field, Steph, because these two right here have not let each other go at any point. They are
Bettis setting up the inside.
He's too wide. Oh, they're still too wide. Bettis trying to get this done on McCartan. He's not willing to give anything up at the moment. And they're still too wide into the next corner as well. Who is going to reprieve? Who is going to give this up as they come round towards the next left? McCartan is still there. These guys have been too wide for about 5 corners.
Man. This is awesome to watch. This is great stuff.
I'm telling you right now, if you ever heard from a psychologist about codependency in a relationship, these blokes are in a codependent relationship right now. They are absolutely tied at the hip as Bettis has just gotten the move done to get back into the lead around the outside of McCartan, and he is not going to let him get anywhere at all. I used the quote on Tuesday night, and last week at Daytona. These guys have been swapping and changing the league like school kids trading Pokemon cards right now. They are just giving it back and forth throughout this whole race.
I think they've had, couldn't tell you how many changes for the lead tonight. It's been insane with these two. And that right there is that was awesome to watch. The amount of racing room, they've given each other just enough racing room, but making sure it was clean. That's what you want, that was, wow, that was awesome.
Well,
awesome to watch.
If you were to put this side by side with some of the malarkey we had going in the earlier piece of this race, it's honestly chalk and cheese. As Adam Hughes has had to bring his car into pit lane, unfortunately, it is chalk and cheese with how you defend and attack positions and how you drive around like you have got black paint on your visor. As they come up towards Eau Rouge and Radion once again, off the back now of Ryan Bettis's Mustang GTD car. He's got a hungry and fast Stefan McCartan in his Audi R8 Evo 2 GTD machine in behind him. As they come up towards the end of the Kemmel Straight, they continue this battle on. Gordon, you are right. That is an absolute highlight. That deserves to be in the intro next season. That was unbelievable.
I think so.
That was unbelievable. Axton Fitzpatrick's also had to bring his car into pit lane again, so I reckon the drivers that came in a lap early are actually running out of fuel, Steph.
Run out of fuel. Yeah. There's potential, might have 1 lap too short. Definitely on the cards. I think I heard Husey call through and say he had to retire from the race?
Yeah, I think he's actually entered pit lane and then towed back in the pits. Which that's fair enough. You know, if you've come into pit lane, you've said you have to retire, and then you've towed back in the pit lane, I think that's fair. You got close enough to your pit bay. Like, he's made the effort to get back to the box at least.
And depending what's going on here, you know, you never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, well. Fitzpatrick, goodness no.
Unfortunately, he had a great run.
Disaster.
Oh, he had a great run, a great battle with Barbs, and then unfortunately he just had to drop back down the field. But this battle for the top two is continuing on. We've got 3.5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps of this race yet to be commenced until the end. And Ryan Bettis is currently 0.4 of a second ahead of Stefan McCartney. I reckon Stefan is saving like hell right now, Steph. I think he is full fuel save. Maybe he's saving the tyres a little bit for a final lap assault. Get him back down to temp, then have a bit of a push.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the key.
That's smart.
Just stick in the toe for the next lap or two, get on the last lap and then have a final attack. Maybe that's the go.
Yep. Yeah, cool the tyres out, save that bit of fuel in the toe.
Yep.
And go again.
I think that's what the strategy is right now. They've had the in-between of rounds 7 and 8. They've taken their water. They've got the pump up from the coach, and now they're ready to go for the final round of this championship main event level fight here tonight. 3 minutes to go, 2 laps of this race to be run. And it's Ryan Bettis and Stefan McCartney separated by less than 0.4 of a second for the lead of this race. It's American V8 muscle of the Mustang GTD car against German engineering at its finest of the Audi R8 Evo 2, even though it's technically a Lamborghini Huracan still. Fighting it out for the lead of this race. It's European elegance versus raw American, what is a kilometre, miles an hour brutality at the front of this field. Either of them can have it. Either of them deserve it, Steph. They've given each other plenty of racing respect and room this one. And they've not given anything up. Benici, Brook and King have all had to come into the pit lane, I suspect, for fuel. So has Mitch Noble. So it is touch and go at the moment whether these leaders can make it home on one more lap. Now, remembering the rule has been abolished. They don't technically have to make it round on the cool-down lap anymore, but that's run wide by Bettis. And I reckon McCartney's going to be able to smell blood right now. He's like a dog seeing a crumb on the floor. He's going to try and lick it up as quickly as possible here for the final lap of this race as they come around Blanchimont for the final time. Do either of them need to come in for fuel, Steph? Or can they make it one more lap, one more run for 7 kilometres around Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps?
They only have to make it to the 3rd corner once they've got the checkers.
Well, that's to Radion.
So
they have to make it to the top of the hill.
if you've got just enough, if you've got enough to make it to there, just send it. Don't worry about taking another pit stop, just send it.
Well, speaking about sending it, McCartney send it down the inside at turn 1. It's a white flag lap run to the end of this race. They are side by side up towards Eau Rouge and Radion. McCartney has to pull out. He tucks in for the final run to the line now. Up Eau Rouge and Radion they come, and the battle is on between McCartney and Bettis for round 1 honours here of the Warren Brown Tools GTD series. They've been fighting all race long. This is when it matters. This is when it counts. This is when the maximum pressure moment comes to fruition for both Bettis and McCartney as they go 2 wide through the chicane once again at the end of the Camel Straight. There's going to be no reprieve, Steph. There's going to be no giving up. It's going to be full push to the end, and one of them is going to get the glory, and the other is going to have to give in for P2 as they come round once again.
Yeah, look, these guys have been battling all night. They've done an awesome job at it, and these last few laps, wow, what a cracker. Absolute cracker.
McCartney has taken the lead once again before the long run round into the second to the last sector of this track. Bettis now sits P2 on the road in behind Stefan McCartney. and is going to try and get a move done before the final corner of this lap. Round now in towards the final sector here. Any mistake is going to ruin it for them. McCartan's got a great run. Half a second is now the gap. Remember, he saved those tyres earlier in the piece. He's now been able to push on for this final lap. Bettis may not have anything left in the tank as they come round onto the back straight. It's only Blanchimont and the final couple of corners to go in this one, as McCartan's going to look to survive here at the lead of this race to Ryan Bettis. It's been an exceptional run from Stefan McCartan. He's led from the front the whole way. He's been swapping and changing the lead. He started from pole position, and he's had to fight for it the whole way. Into the chicane they come now. Bettis is going to try it around the outside. Can't quite get an edge on it. Through the chicane they come. Up towards the final corner they come now. They've crossed the line. Stefan McCartan has taken the win of round one of the Warren Brown Tools GTD series by 0.4 of a second to Ryan Bettis in P2. Dylan Shepherd is going to come round the final corner. He is going to take P3 for Blackout OPR. We almost forgot about him in the end, Steph, but he's gotten the job done. Jamie Dyke's going to come home on debut into the GTD series in P4. And Dougie Gowans, after early chaos, after getting released from the intense battle, he comes home in P5. And Greg Barber, what could have been for him, if not only for getting held up for the majority of the piece, he will come home in P6 here tonight ahead of Tom Williams, who's been by his side the whole way, and he'll come home in P7.
It's a shame, you know, what happened with Barb's earlier on. So I think he definitely would have had the pace to be a bit further up. But look, he saved those few loose moments. He saved that really well to continue on.
And Stanley's now going to come around the final corner. He is going to come home in P8. It's going to be a double top 10 for ESR here tonight. Sean Bonici's going to come home in P9 in a phenomenal effort for Frog Leap Juice Racing. And his teammate Benjamin Brook is going to make it a double top 10 for that team as well. A total of 5 different teams made up the top 10, I think. Frog Leap Juice Racing, Blackout OPR, Velocity Sim Labs, Fishy Motorsports, ESR, and then Ryan, who's a privateer, so technically 6.
6.
Yep. Technically 6.
Yeah.
What a race, though. What an absolute belter of a race it was. And this man has impressed on his debut into the series, you cannot deny. It was a phenomenal effort from him, and one that will be remembered for a long time coming. This guy, he's going to be a player in this championship this season. Not just a player, he's going to be a proper challenger, Steph, and he could definitely take the crown at the end of this season.
I think, yeah, he's definitely going to be at the front. He's contender full show. But Dylan Shepherd through with the fastest lap of the race as well. With an 18.3.
Oh, what a run. What a run for the majority of those guys. We'll wait for our podium finishes. The podium finishes are ready to go. Why is Dykey in there? He did not finish on the podium. Let's see what Dykey wants. He's gone in there. Dykey, have you come for a chat?
I was just congratulating Stefan.
Oh, very good. Okay. Oh, we'll quickly ask you then, since this is probably one of the first times we've seen you in a GT car in a while. How was traversing this track in a different type of Mustang than you used to?
Since we did probably about 100 hours of practice for Spa, pretty good, pretty simple. I used to set up that, you know, if we ran the Ferrari. If we had to run the Mustang, we would have used this setup, and it's the only difference was it was fitted for 111 litres, and I didn't make the changes to it. It felt great.
Oh well, very good. Oh, we'll let you get back to your chat though, mate. But good job on your first run. I reckon you could sneak yourself a podium this season.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good this season.
Very good. I'm glad to hear it, mate. Well, best of luck on Sunday when we head back to Monza for supercars. That's going to be chaotic.
That is going to be very chaotic. Do
it's-
some voice exercises.
Yeah, I think so. My voice might be a bit burnt out now. I've already got to do vets tomorrow night, and I know that was chaotic. So I may not be talking all of Sunday until that broadcast, but we'll let you go, mate.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Thanks.
All right. We'll drag in Frizy. Who must Frizy be? We need to confirm who that is. We'll drag him in for a chat. And we'll confirm who they are. We got Dylan Shepherd in there. We'll drag in Dylan first. He was P3 on the road. Mr. Dylan Shepherd, fastest lap of the race. I appreciate your Discord image. That is an image that will end up in history books for a long time coming. Doesn't matter how you feel about the person, that will go into history books for a long time coming. But fastest lap of the race for you, sir. P3 on the road. In what seems to be, we've gone from the Porsche Cup for GT class to the Blackout OPR Championship at the front end of the field.
Yeah, 100%. I was on the way home from work and fired up the YouTube and saw that the practice was still on. I was like, oh, I might make this. And yeah, got home, saw the boys were on Discord and was like, yeah, I better jump in, have a bit of fun with the lads. So yeah, a bit of a fun race.
Well, mate, we're glad you had fun in the piece. How was it running around at the top end of town with Hughesy and others alike? But I mean, old mate Stefan and Ryan, they ran away with it in the end. You didn't really have much to do other than just hang out with Hughesy all race. Which is that even an acceptable night on track?
Oh, I love a good date night with Hughesy. It's always fun. I got a couple of slowdowns in the first stint, so my strategy of being able to fuel save in the first stint got thrown out. Got to drive hard to kind of make track position to get back onto someone to fuel save in the second stint. So, I was right on them. Obviously, the slowdowns hurt, and I've had to. I think it was like 8 seconds off the pace on the last lap, trying to save that much fuel just to finish. So, yeah, just the slowdowns. It doesn't look like it hurts that much. I mean, it does, but it actually ruined my race the whole way to the end. But yeah, Hughesy was being a good teammate and fuel saved in front of me as well, and allowed me to save enough to finish.
I mean, it shows it can add up even just over a stint, which is an hour. You can give up so much time just by copping those slowdowns. I mean, imagine how much you can lose in an endurance race, for example, if you're doing that every single stint. It's just, it's amazing how much you can take out of it. Nürburgring next week for the GP circuit. Going to be a little bit of a test. Should be a good race though. You feeling comfortable for that one?
I'd love to do it, but I think I'm away with some real life racing at QR. So yeah, I won't make that round, but looking forward to some rounds in the future.
Very good. Steph, is there anything you want to ask Dylan before we let him go?
Anyone you want to give a shout out to help you get out on track? Get out there and have a good time?
Well, I'll make Steph do it. It's probably yeah. I'll start off with thanking just the guys behind the scenes at SRW for putting on the championship, and you two for putting on an awesome commentary. I got to listen in before I even joined in the server tonight, and it sounded good and professional and makes me keen to get in and race.
Mate, we're glad to hear it. Go and rub Barb's ego. He got caught out in some stuff that got us pretty fired up out there tonight. So
yes.
go and check in on Barb's, because he might be a little bit sad for not being able to hang with you guys. The majority of the race, there's a big reason why, but we're not going to point it out. You can go figure it out for yourself. But congratulations on your P3 tonight, Dylan. A phenomenal effort. Best of luck next time we find you out on track with us here on Friday nights, and hopefully you can maybe just pip Stefan for a win one of these days.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
We'll drag in Mr. Ryan Bettis. Ryan, what an effort from you. And can I just say, about 6 corners too wide with Stefan. Some of the best action I've been able to call in a long time, mate. That was absolutely phenomenal racing from you two at the front of the track.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It was really fun. Overheated my tyres in the right hander in no name. So in the last lap, kind of killed my race. But nonetheless, it was a good race. Had fun.
Yeah, we were mentioning about tyres and how they would affect some of the drivers out on track, and it did affect some more than others. And then we kind of noticed as soon as, like, once Stefan got past you on that final lap and he was able to push on through, obviously up towards the double right and then in towards Blanchimont, it just seemed that his tyres were that little bit fresher, and we noticed kind of the 2 laps prior he had backed off a little bit to save them. Do you think that's now something you may think about in future when maybe battling with him up the front of, hey, this guy's trying to save tyres, I might just try and back him up a little bit, save mine, and get ready to defend this position?
Yeah, I'll take that on next time. I personally struggle with saving tyres. The fuel saving's the easy part. The tyre management is in a learning curve on that one.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't seem as simple as saving
Not
fuel,
easy.
does it? It's like you save fuel, you just lift off to save tyres. It's like, what, I got to be more smooth on the corners? It's a bit hard when I'm trying to get this big V8 Eagle or Falcon powered machine around the track. But well, what was the thought process behind the choice of racing the Mustang? We've spoken about at length on the broadcast of how this thing can be quite difficult to get set up in terms of counteracting that snap oversteer it can get. And once you kind of counteract it, then leads to understeer, which then leads to more tyre wear. How have you found trying to get this thing set up, and what were some of the reasonings behind choosing it here tonight?
the reason I chose it, I felt like being a bit different. Kind of didn't think many people would go the Ford, but looking at it, a few did. I heard it was going to rain, so I want a bit of a challenge in the wet as well. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, we appreciate you coming over chat to us, Ryan. It was a phenomenal effort, mate. Absolute commiserations. P2, especially in a battle like that with Stefan, is absolutely incredible. You've done an immense job. And let us know who helps get you out on track, mate. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? And for myself and Steph, massive congratulations on your P2 here tonight.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And yeah, shout out to Shep and Stefan, Adam, Greg, Jake.
Very good. All right, mate. We'll let you go. Best of luck at Nürburgring if you do join us on track for that one, and if you don't, best of luck for the rest of the season ahead.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll drag in Mr. McCartan. Mr. Stefan McCartan. Return to GT land. Return to victory lane. And what a 6-corner run with you and Ryan side by side, like a couple of absolute just kings, not giving up anything, but still giving up the at least racing room between you. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was mega fun. I think it's always a little bit more exciting when you can do it with your teammates. But no, it was mega fun, and it was awesome racing with me and Ron.
Well, it was absolutely mega for us to watch it all happen, mate, and watch it all come together. Retrospectively, it was the complete opposite of what your teammate Greg Barber was dealing with a little bit further back on track. We won't delve into that too much, but how does it feel to get back into the GT cars, get the GT series back up and running again, and to be able to start it off with a win? And this time, it's a win that cannot be contested by a crash happening on the last corner of Mosport.
Yeah, this one's but not as controversial. But it's mega fun. I've always enjoyed GT3s, and I always enjoy the longer race formats. Obviously, we got the 3 different formats in the series, so come the other rounds, it'll be very interesting. And obviously everyone's sort of locked to their car that they're in, so good to see that it's not just Porsche Cup like it was a couple of seasons ago.
Oh, I actually wasn't aware of that. So these cars are actually locked in now for this season.
Yeah, so you're allowed one change through the season, and that's only in there because of the Week 13 season update.
Fantastic. I am so glad to hear that, because yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Porsche Cup was just it was abhorrent and boring. And this week, I think we mentioned the only apart from the one Lambo in the field not starting the race, the only car we really didn't have outside of the McLaren was the Merc. So we pretty much had every other car represented in some way, in some form or fashion, which was good.
Yeah, I think the Merc's just a bit of a struggle car at half the tracks that we sort of go to, so it would have probably been really nice and good at Spa. But at the tighter tracks we're going to go to later in the season, it would probably just be an absolute boat, especially if there's rain.
So do we know what is up for choice for driver's choice at the end of the season?
So it'll be released a little bit later on, but it'll be a few different polls run, and it's any track that isn't currently on the calendar, but is in the iRacing service.
Okay, very good. Let's hope the Saxon ring gets picked, because that'll be brilliant.
Wash his face.
I love the Saxon ring. Ah, that would be so good. Stefan, I mean, it was a phenomenal race, mate. Absolute cracker. I look forward to trying to figure out what these classes are going to be, because outside of like the top 6, it's going to be anyone's game for the Pro M&M classes, mate. But let us know who helps get you Blackout OPR on track. You know, Shepo's left you with the honours of giving the call-outs, mate. And yeah, we did ask him. And he said, "No, Stefan can do it." So,
standard of the boys.
Yeah, I know. It's the bonus of winning the race. And for myself and Steph, congratulations on your P1 here tonight in round 1 of the Warren Brown Tools GTD series.
Cheers, you guys, and thanks to obviously SRW for putting on the series, getting us out on track. Is Blackout Electrical Solutions is our major sponsor. And we've also got simrigs.com, Palmerston Bakery, Distracting Sim Supply, Shunt Scenery, and DSM Painting and Decorating. Couldn't do that without them, and obviously couldn't run the series without you guys as well.
Very good, mate. Well, best of luck for the Nürburgring next week. Should be an absolute cracker. I am looking forward to it. I actually checked the calendar before, and it looks the business. I'm excited for this season. It's going to be great. Hopefully we can continue these strong numbers all throughout, because I reckon this season's going to go off, especially if the racing was like it was tonight. Best of luck next week, mate. Thanks for coming over chat, and I hope you have a good week leading up to the next round.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Well, Steph, that'll bring an end to an absolute belter of a round 1. Can I just say, Friday nights, absolute delight.
Could have asked for a better round 1.
Legends World Challenge,
right?
Absolutely fried. GTDs, just an absolute pure showcase of phenomenal racing. Little bit of controversy, which we don't mind in the booth, but just a fantastic Friday night. Could not have thought of a better way to have spent it out here tonight. I had a massive headache earlier tonight, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to do GTs. I am awake. That was fantastic. That was brilliant. But thank you for joining me once again, Steph. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to next week at the Nürburgring, as I mentioned. If you guys haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing here on SRWtv, including our Warren Brown Tools V8 Supercars series on Tuesday nights, the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship on Wednesday nights, the Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals on Thursdays, the Legends World Challenge in Friday evenings, and as well as the Warren Brown Tools GTD series on Friday nights. And rounding out our racing week, the Warren Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship on Sunday night. It's been a phenomenal first couple of rounds so far. Across the board, next week is going to be absolutely epic. We'll see you guys next time on here. But before we go, we must thank all of our sponsors, including our title sponsors, Warren Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, and Cooler Master, as well as our other sponsors, NeuroPower, DSL Railway Services, Shunt Scenery, and Grim Industries, the home of the V8 coffee table, where you can find it on Prime Video's Top Gear Australia. It looks schmick. But until next time, I've been Hamish Monroe, joined alongside once again by Stefanie Piccoli. Stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chad Moscow and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.